All right. So yeah, we'll just wait for Herman to hop back on and my sister. Hold on. Hey, you took any trades, man? Calvin, are you still doing you doing live or are you doing demo?
I'm doing live right now, but I'm just doing really small lots, and I'm taking trades, but it's like I'm making profit and then I lose the profit, and so I'm kind of breaking even.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but definitely going to be just looking for sell positions this week. And once I make a trade and see profit, then I'll just put the computer down and just observe from that point on.
Yeah, man. Say sometimes the overtrade, man, that thing work. You know what I mean? Thing suck you in, man. You feel good. You get a couple winners.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened.
So
you just want to build that account up so I can start doing one-lot trades.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Yeah, let me text you guys real quick, see if they hopping on. Yeah. So, there's somebody on. Oh, Herman hopped on. Oh, look at this guy. Yeah, man. So just trying to wait. My sister, I guess she'll hop back on. I'll just send her a text. So yeah, we'll just keep going. So basically, yeah, this week, man. So it's gonna be tricky, right? So we gotta understand that the market, what they basically did is, and we'll go to the monthly just to see it because it should be easy to see on the monthly. Let me delete these arrows. So since September, when the low was 126.675. It's been in an uptrend, right? So it's all the way down from 126 all the way up to 141. So when you guys think about that, right, that's a huge move. So you're talking 15,000 pips that the market is, that this pairs up in 2 months. So there, you know what I mean? So at this point, it's looking kind of exhausted. We just got to let price action tell us, but there's no caveat right now to keep GJ going higher. There really isn't. You know what I mean? There's nothing like, there's not enough momentum, I don't think, right now. Now, they could try to fill this wick and push it up a little bit higher and then drop it. Maybe that's what they'll do. Who knows, right? All you can do is go by price action. But the beauty of it is we know the levels. So we're just looking for price action and what happened the last time it got to a certain level. You know what I mean? That's the beauty of it for us, is that we got a cheat code, right? So we just wait for price action. Right now, look, if I zoom in a little bit more, you can kind of see, like, since Halloween at 10 o'clock at night, it's pretty much been staying within this zone right here, right? So you guys can see that. So I mean, it's like clear as day. So you, at this point, now what you could do is you could, if you wanted to be alerted when it breaks out of this little zone, you can set an alert above or below this area, right? And that'll tell you that it's out of this consolidation zone. So if you really wanted to do that, right? So that's another way that you can actually trade it. Is you could set an alert at like 140, 200 area, like, hey, it's moving out of the zone. So you would go in here and then, you know what I mean, just set it like moving out of console zone. And then you can set the alert. So when it goes there and below as well, right? So, because it could go either way. And then that's when you know you'll have to start looking at the chart. If it stays within that area, then you don't really care because there's really not a trade right now. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So that's where that's where we're at. So but right now, yeah, there's not a ton of action. You know, but the longer it moves sideways, so if you guys notice, like right here, right? This October 3rd, this is a 30-minute chart. It was pretty much moving sideways from 132, still in that area, October 8th, 6 days later. And then what happens? It dropped from 132 down to 13500 for about 15 pips, but then it had a huge move a couple days later. Look, from 137.90 all the way up to 137, 7,000 pip move. So that's what I'm telling you guys. Something's about to happen. It's just a matter of when, you know what I mean, within the next week or so or two, you know, however long they're going to do it. But there's definitely going to be big movement coming because of this consolidation. So we just got to kind of keep our ears out for that. Oh yeah, Siobhan hop back on, so she's back on here. So what do you guys want to cover? Is anything? Because it's a slow week right now, so there's not a ton going on. So
I would say like maybe like a couple entries.
So yeah, so this is a 30-minute chart. We can keep it there. So what I would tell you, right, is that we know the range from October 27th. It's like right here. So the range is like roughly 1,500 pips from 139 to 1,4,500, right? So what I would do is, so right now where you're at, you don't have a trade. There's no trade right now because you can see it, right? You see the consolidation right here where my cursor is. There's nothing going on. You can't trade this.
Uh-huh.
So so it needs to be a trade coming off of 140,500. So I would actually take sales. That's why I got that sell alert set here. Look, 140.460, look for sales, right? That's an alert that I have set because it rejected already from that level. Here, it rejected, and it also rejected here and here. So there's 3 rejections, so chances are it's probably gonna break down. So I would start looking for sales there. That would be an entry. But I honestly, right now, I would be looking for sales, man. I don't think I would be looking really for buys because now, here's the thing, right? If news comes out, that's different. You know what I mean? If news comes out and they're like, hey, we're going to reach a deal, then that's different. But right now, I would only be looking for sales. So I would be looking for sales off of 140,500, pretty much is all I see right now. If it goes up to 141, so if you notice here, that's 141,500, right? So look at this strong rejection. So I would also look for sales off 141,500. So if it somehow goes up to 141,500, I would be looking for sales. I'm gonna set an alert right there just to have it in there. So 141, we'll say 450. Somehow I didn't take my level. I have to put it back in there. Yeah, 141, 450. Look for sales. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Because of that rejection. But then other than that, man, I would let price action kind of dictate. When the market's trading sideways, you can go down to a smaller time frame, like the 5-minute chart, and see how you can see the zone. You see how you can see how it's moving from level to level clearer. So you notice how right here, I got to look for sales off 140,500. And then if you notice right here, you got basically a candle with a small wick, candle with no wick, right here. So you got a candle with barely no wick, then a candle with no wick. So you know you're pretty much safe. You can enter on this trade. Your stop loss is above, so it's about 100 pips. Your take profit is 140. So even that trade right there is roughly 500 pips. You see what I'm saying? So that's all you really can expect on when it's consolidating, man. If you can take 500 pips, you're good, man. You know what I mean? I mean, like, take it and run. Typically, you don't even want to trade in consolidation when it's consolidating because the market's not giving you clear direction. So if you can get a 500 pip trade, I would probably hang it up until they pick a direction they want to send the market. Because right now it's indecision, right? Like they're not showing which way they want to send the market. So if you can pick up 500 pips off one trade or 250 pips off one trade, man, I'll probably call it a day until they decide that they're gonna move it. They're gonna move it one way. But there's all kind of ways you can trade this. So I'll show you guys something else so you guys can see it. So with double tops, right? So if you guys notice, this is a top, right? Top of the run basically from the bottom. This is a top. This is a top. And this is a top. So what I mean by top is it went bullish down here, right?
Place.
The run stopped right here, right? And then it reversed. Same thing right here. It went bullish, the run stopped right here, right? It went bullish down here, it stopped right here. It went bullish down here, it stopped right here, right? So basically, with market structure, what you could do is, you could do this. So you know that the low is right around 140, right? Notice how 140 is lower than all these other runs, right? That had like bullish runs up where these arrows, and they stop where these arrows are. So you know that this is like an area that when this area gets broken, you're looking for sells, right? Because that's the low, the current low. So if you notice, this time is like 545. So basically, throughout the whole US session, it stayed in this area. So once this level is broken, so you notice how it broke here at 10 o'clock in the morning, it came down, it came back and did a retest, right? Once it starts showing you rejection, like how it's showing rejection right here with these long wicks, you're gonna look for sells. You're gonna take sells. So you would take sells right off 140. So notice how it broke. It had a fake out candle, rejected, came back up, rejected, came back up, rejected again, right? So you're gonna take sells off 140, and your take profit, you would attempt for it to be down at 139.500, but price action is gonna dictate, right? So this particular trade alone would have been about 400 pips just off of that, just by trading the market structure. You guys see that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a question.
Yep.
Okay, so even though it's like consolidated right now, there's not like a lot of big action going on. Like how you always speak of looking to the left, you know, at previous sales and buys and stuff like that. Would it still be like the same process, even though it's consolidating right now? Would you still be looking like, or are you just basically playing it by ear?
Nah, so you're always gonna look left, but the thing is, right now, since we're in this range, you're gonna. So remember, we look left because remember I told you that we look to the left, right? Because we saw rejection off of 140,500. So remember, look, this is the rejection right here, right? This is the first time it rejected pretty much 140,500. When you look left, that was on October 24th. Then it happened again here on October 29th. And then it happened again on October 31st, which was Halloween, right? So that's why, remember, that's why I set an alert for sales off 140.460. So when it comes back up to this level, since we looked left when we saw the previous rejection, we're gonna look for sales again.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're still following the same trading format. The only difference with the consolidation is right now you really don't have a trade. Like there's nothing going on right now. Like you know what I mean? If you took buys right here, you would be sweating because it's like, and then how much are you trying to get? and how much are you risking? So if I'm gonna open up a $80 lot trade, now it's not the right time because there's no clear direction in the market. You know what I mean? It's like you're pretty much gambling at this point.
You don't know which way it's gonna go right now.
Exactly. So look, when you see candles like this candle right here that has a long wick at the bottom and a wick at the top, that's indecision. That tells you that they don't know, the market doesn't have a clear direction. Look, right after that, you got a candle again, a wick at the top, wick at the bottom, long wick with a small body in the middle. Look over here, same thing, right? Right here.
Yeah.
This candle right here, long wick at the top, long wick at the bottom with a small body. That means that right now there's no direction in the market. And then same thing right here with this candle, small body, long wick, a wick at the bottom, wick at the top, right? So right now it's like a dangerous time to trade because there's no movement now. But when it comes back to this level that it already rejected in the past, because when we zoom out and we look to the left, we can see that it rejected. You can kind of look for sales here. Stop loss will be right above. You know what I mean? So you just have to kind of play it by ear based off of price action when it comes to those levels. So technically, look, what you got to remember, right? We already know that one trade can give you 1,000 pips or 2,000 pips. So you can afford to wait for the right setup. So that would be the message today. Like, you can always wait for the right setup, right? I don't even think a ton of alerts went off last week. I know me and Herman were talking about it a couple of days ago. Like, I think it was Friday. We didn't have a ton of alerts that went off this past week because of the consolidation. Like, the market wasn't moving, you know what I mean, with clear direction. So that's where you kind of, when it's like that, turn your computer off, man. You know, remember, you got your alert set, so you don't really have to look at the charts until your alerts go off. That's the beauty of having the alert set.
Right.
So in times like these, you can go focus on something else. You know what I mean? So, but that's what it should be.
It's set for when it gets back up to that, to all the places that has been rejected in the past.
Exactly.
Hey, Demarius.
Yeah.
Can you go back? Can you like go back? So what? Go back over your alerts again. I have the
the alert 140.460. So that's technically the 140,500 level. Look for sales.
450. Sales. Okay.
Yeah, that one sells right there. Let me click on the list. Hold on real quick. I got them all in here. 141.450.
Sales.
Yeah.
What else?
You got it?
Yeah.
And then 139.760. So that right there, this alert right here is because the market's consolidating. So when it moves out of the 139.760 area, that means that you're looking technically for sales.
Yeah.
And then I'll put it in here so you can see it. Because see how the market right now is moving like in this area, staying within this zone. So when it breaks out of that zone to the bottom, to the downside, you're looking for sales.
Gotcha.
And then 142.03. So that's moving out of the consolidation to the upside, and you could be looking for possible buys. But that's just that alert is just telling you that it's moving out of the consolidation area. You know what I mean?
Right.
That junk is kind of crazy how every place that it rejected was like every 4 days in the past couple of weeks. Yeah, that's crazy.
Hey man, I'm telling you, man, when you start looking hard at the charts, man, you start seeing crazy patterns.
Yeah, man, because that junk was on the 24th, the 29th, and then the 31st. So that's kind of crazy.
So 137.670 area, Herman, I got to look for buys. It's basically 137.500, but you got that one?
Yeah, buys.
Yeah, and then there's one more. It should be one. Yeah, 135, 600.600. Look for buys. That one right there is a super strong. I'm gonna even put it in there, man. Super strong buy area.
135, 600.
Yeah, technically 135, 500, but you want the alert to go off
Right.
before it gets to 500. Yeah. So that's all I got right now, man. So, because remember, like it's so what? Even if you're not gonna trade, right? So I pretty much look at the chart at some point at least once a day, like to kind of see like what it did or whatever, and just reinforce like my strategy, right? So like, and I see it over and over. You guys saw it too, like the inside bars, the two black candles and then two green candles. I think I actually recorded. If I think I hit record on this, so if it record, I can send you guys or whatever. You can kind of play it back or whatever, but yeah. So but that's where like that's where this thing is. So
if you got it, I like to have one, so because I like to study it, you know.
Yeah, so I'll see like as long as it goes through, like I'll So I can send it. You guys can look at it. But the biggest thing, right, is over trading. So like if you say you had a week last week, oh I made 1,000 pips. You know what I mean? This week you can't really feel the direction in the market and it's moving sideways and all that. Nobody said you got to trade. You know what I mean? Like even if you only picked up 500 pips, 300 pips, whatever last week, if you were profitable at all, nobody said you had to trade this week. You know what I mean? So you don't want to get back all your profit because you're trying to guess. You know what I mean? You want the profitability in your favor, and that's off of these levels. You know what I mean? So, but this trade right here, if you notice, you had better entries on the 5-minute chart when it's consolidating because, for one, you can have a smaller stop loss. You know what I mean? So if you look here, you had, like, as an example, this trade right here off of 140. So it broke through 140 here. It came back down and did a retest here, right? And for us, we know what we look for. Remember, a downtrend, two black candles, two green candles, which would mean that you would take buys right around here. Your stop loss would be right around here, which would have only been like 40 pips, 50 pips. And then you try to hold it to the next zone, which is 140, 500. So look, this trade right here would have worked, and it would have got you about 400 pips. You see what I'm saying? So it's easier to trade it when it's consolidating on the smaller time frame because you can have a smaller stop loss. 40, 50 pips, I mean, that's like a perfect stop loss. You can't get any better than that. So $1 lot, you would have made like 400 bucks. You know what I mean? You would have risked basically 50 bucks to make 400.
Right. So you would have like a $350 profit.
Yeah. So, but it's not much going on right now. Like these are the times where you just got to kind of sit on your hands and wait until they decide. But like, I mean, look at this. This thing is crazy, man. Straight up consolidation. So at some point we'll get movement, but right now it's kind of dead. So you just got to kind of wait. You had anything you want to go over? Well, you talked about price action. I mean, or the entries. I kind of showed you a couple entries.
Yeah.
I would look at it for right now, but you know, and that's what we got to understand too. Like every day is not a trading day, right? Look, I'm telling you, man, even if you only got one trading strategy off of these zones, even if you say, hey, you know what, I'm only looking for buys, right? Say you more comfortable with buys than you are taking sell. If you know that you got a high percentage win rate on buys, and that's what you've always done buys for the most part, then stick to buys. Even if you only get one trade a week, if that trade is 300, 400, 500 pips, you're still good. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just, you can't rush the process and feel like, you know, it's the fear of missing out, because that's basically what it is. That's how you lose money too, the fear of missing out. just because the charts are moving and the candles are moving doesn't mean that you got to trade. You know what I mean? And I tell you guys, like I actually done that a lot. Like when I first started trading, man, like you feel like you got to trade. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm in front of the computer for an hour today. I gotta trade something. You know what I mean? So, and that was before like I kind of figured out these levels and all that stuff too. So I basically was just going blind. You know what I mean? Oh, I thought I saw something right here. You know what I mean? So it's like, so that's what I would tell you guys, like from that standpoint. You know what I mean? If you're more comfortable, because typically you're going to be more comfortable with either taking buys or sells. If you go back through your trading history, even if it's demo, you know, take a look at which one you're stronger on, buys or sells, and maybe that's what you're more comfortable with. So even if you say like, hey, you know what, I'm only going to take rejection trades, then that's fine. You know what I mean? Rejection sell trades, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like whatever works for you. No, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You know what I mean? But I think personally, unless news comes out that says otherwise, they're gonna drop GJ hard, man. GJ had to back down, and all it is basically a retest. So look, let's go. Let's do this. Let's go to the 3-month chart. So the 3-month chart is right here, and it just July, August, September. So it just opened for October. Matter of fact, let me do this. Let me go to this chart so you guys can see it. Oh, I have to do it here. Load chart. It's gonna open on another freaking screen. Hold on one second. I think this is it. All right, you guys can see this chart, right? It has the gray bar right here.
Yeah.
All right, so let me delete it. And then I'm gonna go to the 3-month chart on this because you can see it clear. All right, so this is a 3-month chart. I don't know why it's not zooming, but so basically, right, this chart opened in October. So since October 1st, right? So which was basically we're like a month in. So this chart, you can see it already engulfed this candle right here to the left, this black candle, and it's basically a double bottom. So if you look here, you got a zone all the way across. So this was the range that it's basically trading in, right? So it can easily push it down a little bit and then push it higher. So, and we probably can see it better. Let's see if they show a 2-month chart. Yep. So look, you can see it even better on the 2-month chart because this chart, September, October, this is a brand new candle for the 2-month chart right here. Right here, like that's forming. So it's probably gonna push down. It's gonna retest this level, which is right around 132. It could come all the way down and form a wick and then push higher. So that's all they're doing right now with the market. So just a heads up, like on that, like it could be a huge drop down to this area, somewhere in this area, or 135 or somewhere in this area, and then push all the way up.
The Mary.
So yeah.
Are you determining that based on just the news or?
No, man, I'm looking at price action here.
Gotcha.
So because, and I don't know why these freaking alerts are, it's like, hold on real quick. Let me see if I can do something there.
Yeah, none of mine triggered last week, so I had to go in and delete them.
Yeah, you just got to delete them off. But hold on. All right. So the reason why, can you guys see this? This thing is like blending in perfect, man. You guys can see this small candle forming right here, right? Where I'm going to put this arrow. You see it.
Yeah.
You see this. You see it, right?
Yeah.
So that's the new month. That's the candle for November 1st. The reason why I'm saying that it can come back, it has to form a wick at the bottom to push up, right? So if you notice, this candle from September, it has a wick at the bottom, then it pushed up. So notice it basically it opened right here, it pushed down, then it pushed up. So you got all this space. That's why I'm saying that it can come down and do a retest of this level. This level, right? This empty space. So you got all this empty space down here, right? So this candle could come all the way down and test this area because it tested it before. Look to the left. It tested it here, it tested it here, it tested it here, and it tested it here. So this candle could come down, test this area, and then push up. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so now keep in mind though, this is a 2-month chart, right? So it could take 2 months to do that. So within the next, but all that means is basically within the next 8 weeks. So when I go down to the 1 month chart, and I'll do that too so you can see it, it's the same concept, right? So notice that the 1 month candle is forming, right? This is November, but look at October. It basically tested, it tried to retest the same area that I'm talking about that I got the gray bar on, right? It came down to 134.23, then it pushed up. This candle is probably going to do the same thing. It's going to come down somewhere. Even if they're going to push it higher, you got a probably 99% chance it's going to retest somewhere down here before pushing up. That's just how candles work. You know what I mean? That's just how they form. They typically don't just shoot straight up, especially on the longer time frame. So if you notice all these candles, look at this candle right here. It has a wick at the bottom, right? Then it pushed up. So think about this candle that we're watching right now. Right now, it has no wick. You see what I'm saying? It has no body and no wick. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. So you're just gonna watch the price action down here at those levels. And that's basically, you just gotta kind of go through and look and start kind of getting familiar with candles and how they form and all that stuff. But you can kind of see, like, if you notice, like look at these candles, right? So this candle, remember, candles are always based off the previous candle, right? Because, so this candle right here, this black candle, it closed down here, right? It closed at 167.670. So this candle opened at 167.670, right? That's where it opened, but then it pushed down, it formed a wick, and then it closed green, it pushed up. So notice how 90% of the candles on the chart, they all, even if they're green, they're gonna have some kind of wick, 90% of them, right? So if you notice, look, wick, 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 right? So, and all I did is I basically just drew a zone from, because you look left and you see where it rejected before. And you notice, the other thing, Herman, notice what I'm doing right here, right? So this zone that I'm drawing is basically right off of what level? It's right off 128. You see that, right? I don't know if you can hear me. Herman, you can hear me? Herman, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah, what I was saying is, if you notice, I drew this zone. Remember, I was telling you about the level. Look, it's right off. That's right off 128. You see that, right? Look,
Yeah.
it's 128. So I can see the level, even though they're not highlighted. You know what I mean? They're still there. You just got to look. So even you can see right here that it basically respected 125. You know what I mean? But remember, this is a monthly chart. So
Right.
if I drew all the levels in, it would make sense to you. I just don't have all the levels on this particular chart because I wanted to show you the clean chart. You know what I
Right.
mean? But you can see it as I'm starting to draw these levels. You know what I mean? Back
Yeah.
in, like why it did what it did. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's just a retest of those areas.
exactly. So it has to come back down. You see what I'm saying? And
Right.
retest these areas 99% of the time before it pushes higher, which
Yeah.
would cause you will be looking for sales, basically because you know it has to retest before pushing higher.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's all it is, man. So it just said this was a naked chart, so that's why you know what I mean.
Right.
Without seeing the levels, you're not gonna really know like what it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah, man. But other than that, I mean, that's all I pretty much had today. There's not a lot going on. This thing is gonna time out in like 2 minutes. So, but I would say just keep an eye on the levels that we have. Well, I'm going back to this. See if I can share. Yeah, so this is my regular chart.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But we'll see what happens. I would say, Siobhan, yeah, keep searching the news and see, like, you know what I mean, and then go to the chart and see if you can catch trades off of what you see and what they released in the news.
Yep.
But
All right.
other than that, man, I'll catch you guys on the flip side.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, you guys have a good one.
All right. You
All
too.
right.
All right.